black mask.
Who is it?
Dance on the table for me.
Creep.
Take
No.
off your clothes, Joe.
Wait, no.
Dance
It's
on
Alex's
the table.
turn. This is
Alex,
this is pretty sturdy.
take off. Guys, what's up? It's me, AngryJoe. I'm not really the black
Surprise!
man.
You were in the black mask longer than he was.
What? Bullshit. Guys, we just got back from an event in L.A. where we took the opportunity to also see Birds of Prey at the overpriced ArcLight theaters.
Yes, it
Jesus
was.
Christ, $18.50 per seat. What the fuck are y'all doing in L.A. over there? Is that how much movies cost?
No.
Feel
No,
sorry
it's
for
just
you
the
guys.
ArcLight.
I was expecting
then
free
fuck the
popcorn or
ArcLight.
something.
And
Yeah.
it was premium popcorn. It was like generic ass popcorn. Anyways,
It's a clean microwave.
now I understand why you guys need our movie reviews, because that is a lot of money to spend on a film. And so we got the latest one, the latest DCEU film, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One, Harley Quinn, one of the longest titles I've ever seen. Of course, people just shorten it to Birds of Prey.
Yes.
Of course, the very beautiful and talented Margot Robbie and various other actresses and actors, including Ewan McGregor, who I really enjoy as Obi-Wan in Star Wars.
Very beautiful actress.
A very, very handsome man. And was seeing the marketing for this one all the way up there. I'm like, this just feels like a dead film walking. I mean, it's like, is Jared Leto even a
trying.
thing anymore?
No.
But, you
Gives
know,
me a
this is a film
distraction.
about Harley saying, fuck Mr. J, I'm out of here. I'm going to do my own thing and set off on my own adventure. And what did I think? Well, you know, we heard several people talk about, like, sheesh, you know, before they were like, well, we
about to
really
go see
liked
it
it.
tonight.
And I was like, shit, don't you tell me anything. I'm going to be 100% honest. I was disappointed with this film. In fact, I
I think we feel
it's-
about the same around this room.
it's
To a
just
point,
not very good.
My expectations were low.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know who the film is for. I do know who the film is for. It's for the female audience. They want to get female butts in the seat. This is a female empowerment film. And I don't think the incoming numbers are very good for it. So I'm not sure those people are actually showing up to the theater to support it.
There was nobody there. When we
Yeah.
went.
opening
That's
night.
what I'm talking about.
Well, they didn't want to
Joe.
pay $18.50 for.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, that too.
And
but-
apparently there was an extra who was in the film who
Oh,
was annoying
yes.
as fuck, talking the whole time. You know, shut the fuck up.
No one cares that
No
you
one
were in this movie
cares.
for 3 seconds.
3 seconds. Anyways, guys, I just feel like this film, it's like, who is it for? If it's a Birds of Prey film, I am not interested in any of those characters after seeing them, after seeing the way they set them up. I don't like Huntress. I don't like, Canary. I don't like the way that these characters have been presented. I like them as comic book characters, but I don't like the way that I think Huntress looks fucking stupid. Her character is just super fucking awkward. The personalities, basically the story centers around, Harley Quinn's emancipation and then the Birds of Prey coming together. But both of those subplots center around an individual, a girl. What's her name?
Cassandra.
Cassandra Cain. Oh, how could I forget? They say it 15 times in the film.
We need to get Cassandra Cain.
Cassandra Cain, this young girl who is caught up in this mess, and I disliked her character 100%. And the only person I really cared about was Margot Robbie's character, Harley Quinn. And so it's like, well, is this a Harley Quinn movie or is it a Birds of Prey movie? If it's a Birds of Prey movie, it failed. I don't give a fuck about the Birds of Prey. I don't want to see Birds of Prey 2. If it's a Harley Quinn film, then it's like, well, it's kind of disappointing as a Harley film, a Harley Quinn film. What do you guys think?
Honestly,
I gotta get a haircut.
I wanted them to just
I didn't
do
want
a Harley
to
Quinn.
do a Harley Quinn wig and
We don't have
put you
one.
guys through that.
Oh
So
no,
just did the
it's gonna be
mask.
very
Yeah.
scary.
Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
I honestly rather them focus on Harley Quinn because they did not do a good job on building up the rest of the characters. Some of their motives were just like, why? Why are you doing this? you need me to like believe in you and something, but they didn't give me anything. I'd rather just have a Harley Quinn film.
Well, I don't mean to question you, but are you talking about a character specifically?
No,
Because
like
it
the
seemed like they
birds,
were
the
overly
rest of
setting
them.
up all the birds for having character motivation. I mean,
Canary
there was like three.
and, well, it's just not enough build up for me.
Okay.
I felt that some of them were really underdeveloped, and some of them they did spend some time with. Like Canary, for example, is one of the ones that was really, really underdeveloped because they're we get some backstory, we get some insight into their lives, but stuff happens in the movie that's like we had no idea as audience members that you could do this, and you just invented a thing to get out of this situation, and that happens throughout the film. I wasn't completely disappointed by this movie, but my expectations were really low. The writing, I don't think, was very strong. I didn't think the story was very good. I don't think that the characters meshed all that well together. I like Margot Robbie. I think she did a great job. I think Ewan McGregor was doing like a weird take on the character. Kind of liked it. He did pretty well.
Yeah, here's the thing. Black Mask literally has no character. Yeah. And I kind of hate him in the cartoons because he's just basically your most generic villain.
Yeah.
But here, at least he gave him a fucking creepy-ass vibe and like a weirdo, kind of unsure of himself. Probably playing with his masculinity, I guess.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did that.
With toxic masculinity and things.
One thing they did really well in this movie, and I don't mean that like compared to other things in the DC. Like one thing that was actually really good is there were several fight scenes in this movie that were excellent.
Yeah, that's what we would recommend you see this film for. The only thing that really holds up are the fight scenes.
Some of them, not all of them.
Some of them, actually. You're right. And why is that? Well, the choreographer of John Wick 3 was hired to reshoot some scenes.
And though you can
it's
tell,
pretty fucking clear which ones they are.
Yeah, and the
badass.
The problem with that though is all of the ones that he oversaw were incredible. Like you know which ones they are because they feel very John Wick. And then you get to some of the final fight scenes, and they don't compare. They're not good. They're shot poorly. And you show that Harley has the ability to manhandle and mangle these people. And then she's got it's like a pool noodle that she's like hitting the bad guys in the head with at the end of the movie, or she's shooting someone with a confetti gun after you show me that she like snaps some dude's femur in 4 places and then, does cocaine and stabs a bunch of people. It's like it feels like 2 different people were overseeing the fight scenes because 2 different people were overseeing the fight scenes.
Yeah, I almost felt like there were multiple directors as well. And to tap in with what Joe was saying is there's not enough build-up for the characters, or they didn't really give them good motivation. They do, but it didn't work. What happened is they do this. This is like a voiceover. There's tons of voiceovers from Harley.
They try to do this like a Deadpool.
Choppy narration in the film, and this is storytelling that if you like this film storytelling and you hated Suicide Squad, you're a fucking liar, because this storytelling is almost exactly like Suicide Squad. They like to do this back and forth. Wait, let me explain this other thing real quick first.
Before that,
and then it like backs up, and so it has like a sort of stylistic thing in the editing room that I guess works a little more for Harley. But what it does is it's exposition city, and yes, we're getting the backstory of Huntress and how her family was murdered, and that sets up her motivation, but you just don't feel it. You're like it happened in a few minutes and out of order when we're right in the middle of another scene and we're supposed to be like give our full undivided attention. I don't feel it because we didn't go through that situation with the character when it happened. We're just being retold something happened, and this happens over and over in the film, and it's unfortunate. And so like Alex says, I think the writing, the lack of character, the way the story is told, I dislike that Diamond Girl, and Huntress she wasn't a badass in my opinion. I hated her costume. I hated all the costumes in this film.
I hated her end costume. It was like the weirdest thing.
I know.
The very ending,
looked like a fucking purple firefighter or something.
I don't know what it
Terrible
is.
fucking costumes. Even Harley, who has a unique look to her in the previous Suicide Squad, I hated her look here. I just don't like the set direction. They do a hyena in the trailer. Hyena does fucking nothing in the film.
Well, I was mad.
100% nothing. So don't even fucking bother, looking for him to do
There's
anything.
only one.
It's
the wrong
what?
name.
You're supposed to get two.
But here's the thing. I didn't laugh a single time other than, once. There was a guy getting his head slammed into a car horn a few times, and the cadence of that car horn while she's fighting other people made me smile and chuckle a little bit. But that just goes to show you that, I'm one of the only ones that liked Suicide Squad, and people give me crap for it, but I honestly had way more fun and was following the story better and was connecting with the characters better in Suicide Squad than I was here. You can tell which fight scenes were directed by John Wick and which were not. The climactic fight at the end is one of the worst.
It's terrible.
It doesn't feel like it's choreographed by the same person. She's using a mallet, knocking people around. And here's the thing, is that I was waiting for the whole time. I broke my suspension of disbelief several times. Because Harley is an expert fucking fighter. We're talking about premium combat expert, as good as fucking Batman in this film. She's better than Huntress at hand-to-hand combat. And if you're going to do that, that's fine. But I do want a small line, and I wonder if it's cut from the film. It's like at no point does she ever say that she was trained by anybody or hand-to-hand combat experts or assassins in her time with Joker. She literally says everything that's happened in her life, going through processes from her school to the psychiatric to meeting Joker, and at no point was she trained to fight like this. But it's just she was a gymnast for a little bit, and so she can beat the fuck out of people 15 times her size.
7 of them at the same time.
Now, your response to that is, well, this bitch is crazy. And so that's her powers, is she just crazy? And she's no! And I would agree with that. Even our Uber driver was listening to us talk about this. And she goes, have you ever dated a crazy-ass girl, And then she was talking about the sex with crazy girls. And she was like, I was like, okay, I see what you're tapping into.
Yeah.
And I fucking like it. Like that explanation. Like crazy-ass girls that are fucking crazy in bed and that just fucking, go off and start kung fuing people, I guess, but make a joke about it. Like, how the fuck are you so good at fighting? And she's like, you ever hear about crazy girls and sex or something else referring to either her chaotic powers or her luckiness or whatever, but it's never mentioned, so it's kind of broken. But yet Huntress, it's mentioned she was trained with assassins, and Canary, it was mentioned, your mother, this and that, and there's family ties, so you're like, okay. And then this cop, obviously the cop went through fucking police academy, but then just fucking, Harley Quinn is just basically Batman out there. But I don't dock the film for it. It's just I wish it was giving more comedy and opportunities for, kind of in-universe explanations, tongue-in-cheek stuff, but didn't make me laugh a single fucking time. In fact, it did so many stupid fucking things that I got to talk about in the spoiler section, so you guys can see why I just thought that the movie was basically pointless. It tells a below-average story of the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
It tells a below-average story of Harley Quinn, and it makes a major change with one of the bigger players in the underworld of the Gotham universe. And I feel like because it felt the need to do something shocking or big because it didn't really do anything. And so then they kind of waste a character at the end because we got to do something in the climax because this really has gone nowhere. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned something about the inconsistency of the fighting, and so I appreciate that they went back and did reshoots of some of those scenes, but you were talking about how Harley is so amazing in hand-to-hand combat, and they show that, but then there's scenes after the fact where Harley's just getting beat up by normal people. And
anytime she's fighting a girl, she is 100% on their level and getting her ass kicked. But anytime she's fighting a guy that's 3 times her fucking size, she's destroying
She
them.
fights 7 dudes in a biker gang. They've got knives, they've got guns, and it's a really cool scene, and I love it. So I'm not criticizing that scene.
Renee Montoya. What's her name? Something Montoya. the actress's name?
Yeah, Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
No.
Yeah.
Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez.
Yeah, Rosie
When
Perez.
she-
First time she fights Rosie Perez, like they're on par. It's
Rosie
like, no,
Perez,
that is fucking.
she
not
doesn't know.
She
And,
was drunk.
and Rosie Perez was
She
also
was
drunk.
drunk.
Yeah, and so
But
like
no,
there-
you can't have when two girls are fighting each other. Then you
Yeah.
can't have Harley fucking beat her ass.
So I do like that they went back and they're like, we need to up the action. This was a rated R movie, right? And so I like
What?
Yeah.
You're joking.
This was like a bloodless rated R movie. That's why
What
there's so
the
much.
fuck?
There's
This was
some
rated
blood.
R. I was about to say that
blood.
there's lack of blood. There's lack of
Some.
some.
There's a little
maturity.
dribble. There's a
This
little
is
That's
what
dribble.
you
enough to
get.
make it rated R.
This is what you get for a rated R film?
Yeah.
Fuck no. The most brutal thing is when a guy gets his legs broken.
Deadpool
and then
kinda
another
s-
scene when she uses a bat to like break and re-break a guy's leg.
That scene was really
That
cool.
was okay. That was cool. And I wish there was more of that stuff, but it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
a rated R film.
So I mean, I ultimately, I mean, you want to go into final verdict so we can get into the spoiler section.
Okay.
This one's real hard for me because I like having people.
I think you liked it more than me and Joe.
No.
This is for once. I think.
Oh, I'm still like at average or below average for this
stuck
film.
between two.
I'm
Okay,
stuck.
oh,
I'm stuck between a 4 and a 5, right?
Yes,
Okay.
so,
So
am I.
I think that this
Well,
movie's
think
writing
about it,
was
okay?
poor. The character development outside of Harley was kind of poor. There's powers that get in like shown. I mean, not
The
invented,
story is
but
poor.
it's
Explanations are poor.
it's not just the story is poor. It's been
Half-assed.
used over and over and over again, and it wasn't done particularly well. It tries so hard to be Deadpool, but it doesn't have the charm or the humor to go along with it. It has the action, right? Like this is the only thing that's preventing this movie from being like a 2 is the fact that there are some really, really well choreographed scenes. I
But
mean,
as far as the comedy, maybe it just was not directed to us. It's not our target market for comedy. Unless you like fucking egg and bacon sandwiches, unless that's your thing.
I do.
And I love egg and bacon sandwiches too, but I just didn't connect, and I
was like,
wasn't. Nothing was
Deadpool-
charming
yeah,
to me.
it's
But
like
if you're a
his
female
chimichanga.
and you want to see female empowerment, and you want to see the girls kick the fucking guys' ass, maybe you're head over heels with this film. But I don't feel like it was
Yeah.
set up very nice.
So the fact that all of the things that make it a movie, right? So I kind of
Did
joked.
you like the Birds of Prey?
No.
Did you
They
like
weren't-
Harley's story?
Well, so I want to get into
Did
this.
you like the central character, the Cassandra Cain?
Oh, I hated her.
Okay, and you didn't like the story, you
Just
didn't like
go
the writing, you
down.
Yeah.
didn't like
Just
Birds
go
of Prey,
down.
and you were disappointed by Harley, but there was some
No,
badass
I wasn't
fight
disappointed.
scenes.
I don't think I was disappointed by Harley at all in the
Harley's story in this.
Yeah, I think her story was fine, and I think that the way that she delivered her lines, like you
No,
buy
no,
that
Margot Robbie
is
is the best
she's
Yes.
really
part of
really
this
good in
film.
this. Her lines are so much more developed. Maybe it's just by comparison. She is by far the most developed character. This should not even be called Birds of
Yeah.
Prey at all
Yes.
because they're only honestly the Birds of Prey for 5 minutes or so, and it's not a believable scene. It's not a
It
good
makes
scene.
me kind of pine for Jared Leto back. If this was a
Oh,
film that
no.
was just
No,
about
no.
Harley and Jared Leto, oh,
I'd
that
rather just see
fucking...
it.
I'm so sick of people like blowing out of proportion this Joker take. If we can have multiple Jokers, that's fine with me in different universes. So I would... If it's
you
between
lean
seeing Jared Leto
towards,
as Joker and that
fourth?
car wreck happening live on screen, I would have much rather had a Harley Joker film
Yeah.
than a Harley Birds of Prey film. So I'm just throwing this all at you to
It's
help
all
you
you.
consider your 4 or your 5.
Well, so the thing that I'm considering is I think I'm going to ultimately go, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10, but I almost want people to support, like, how do I get you to go watch this movie?
Now, you said that in the car.
Yeah.
And I highly disagree with you. He wants you to see this R-rated movie. If you want to see more R-rated superhero films, you have to go see this film. I don't think that's the
So,
truth.
like,
People know that this was marketed in a very specific
Yeah.
way to a very specific segment of the audience, females, and then also grabbing some of the male fanboys
Yeah.
and comic book guys. And that films like if Logan does well and Deadpool 2 and 1 does well, I don't think studios are going to be like, well, Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey bombed. We are never doing another R-rated film again. I don't think that's going to be the case,
New
Alex.
Mutant.
I mean, they stopped doing R-rated films. I mean, the number of R-rated films drops every single year, and I don't want them to continue to do stuff like that. So,
Well, the number of R-rated films was at 0 until they started doing superhero ones.
yeah,
Until they started doing Logan.
they've done a couple of them, but people constantly get.
Isn't this the first failure of an R-rated? Well, I don't know if it's a failure.
I mean, it just came out today. The official release is today.
I know, but you told me some numbers that we're doing.
Oh, internationally, it had a very, very poor turnout in the first day.
I think it's going to do about 45 million in the opening weekend.
So, I mean, I'm going to ultimately go with a 4.
Okay.
I wish it was better because I really want to see more R-rated takes on some of the heroes.
Slightly below average.
This is a slightly below average movie. I mean, it's really propped up by some of those films. The sequences they went back and reshot. But I hear people say that, I love the writing, I love the dialogue. It's like, have you never seen a goddamn movie before in your entire life?
You need some depth.
Well, yeah, you need depth. Like, we just watched some throwaway movies on the airplane back that had infinitely more depth.
Didn't somebody say this is a 9 out of 10? I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's just they probably have the same feeling that I kind of do, where it's like I want movies like this, and they want movies like this to go forward, and then but better. So 4.
Joe.
I'm gonna agree with the 4. The best things I like was actually Harley Quinn and the action scene, but it's like just 2 bare stories put together. There's not enough depth for it, like I was saying, and the villain. There's no motivation behind it. He's like, I'm the bad guy. Why?
Because he's evil.
Just because I'm mad and I want to...
Black Mask was boring.
Yeah. So it's like not enough for me.
Yeah. So
I'd rather just have a Harley movie, rated R1. That would have been way better than just trying to tie in the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, if they cut out all of the Birds of Prey, this movie could have been salvaged.
Give us some more Harley time. Damn.
They set it up like now the team is the Birds of Prey are around and there's Harley.
They just look so goofy after.
I do not. I know with their costumes so bad. Like they're shopping at Hot Topic. I think Hot Topic maybe sponsored them, and then that's why they had
look
to do
like breakdancing crews.
Really bad, really bad costumes, guys. So and talking it out here with Alex was good for me because that sets it in stone for me. It is a 4 out of 10 as well. We're all on the same page. It is a slightly below average film that sort of is messily told. The characters aren't very interesting as far as the Birds of Prey. We like Margot Robbie. We like Harley Quinn. We wanted to see more of that. Black Mask is about the worst and most generic villain you could have chose, but Ewan McGregor brings something to the table, gives him some sort of personality, but it's really just not enough. And then the payoff is just so generic. There's a climactic moment that you saw coming from miles away, and it just doesn't really click. And then they do a small twist at the end, and it's like, okay, And it just doesn't really work, and it feels like it was thrown in there because they needed something big to make the film feel bigger. But the film just feels like pointless. Maybe the worst DC film. I'm sorry. I liked Suicide Squad or better than this. And the Black Man. So I will admit there, just like you guys there are some really cool slow-mo fight sequences, but she does some
stuff with a baseball bat that are top tier amazing stuff that's almost worth watching this movie. If you can see this movie for cheap, if you can find an $8 movie and you just want to see some action sequences, it may be worth seeing.
No, it just can't. And my final part to that was, but that stuff it can't carry.
Oh yeah, it doesn't carry it.
It gets a lot of points for that and holds up the film. But because the story centers around Cassandra Cain, and I don't buy Cassandra Cain's relationship, the little girl, with Harley Quinn. I don't buy her as an actor. I don't buy that character. And I don't like their chemistry or interplay. And that's kind of the supposed to be the heart and soul of the film. I just hated her. Didn't like it. Didn't like the way it ends. We'll talk about that in spoilers. And then all the stupid moments that I'm about to point out, which seems like maybe it's left over from editing or something. Just so come join us there. Yeah. Come join us there for our rankings of all the DC films. We did a previous video, so I know exactly what everybody's ranking is, and we're gonna see where that falls.
I was like, I don't remember any of this crap.
Is this in fact the worst DC film based upon our updated rankings?
No.
Find out in the spoilers, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the spoiler section.